shit, man. You can't plan this shit, man. Life gonna go how it's gonna go. You just gotta go with the flow, you feel me? I can't even say that I chose this way of life, man. This shit chose me.
Hey.
All right, take two. Welcome back to Heat of the Moment, episode 6. We already had one show fucking recording, but this dickhead forgot to plug in the microphone, so here we are again.
Well, I mean, everything you said was fucking stupid, so...
How, man? How?
You said baseball is like fishing.
It is. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to say the same goddamn thing again. I will. Anyways, I'm Sam. You know who this is. And this is Jay Wang over here. Jay Wang, you want to introduce yourself?
What's up, guys? I'm Jonathan.
This is Jonathan.
That's it.
He played baseball, PJ and I growing up. You have like a younger brother than me, close to PJ's age. These guys would be in the same class, just arguing all fucking day about Drew Brees. PJ, on one occasion, wrote an essay.
All right, Sam, we'll get into this when we're done. when we get on
all
that.
right. We're getting there. We're going to start with baseball, though. Baseball season's coming back. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. We appreciate it. 60 games. No more three batter rule is in effect now, where the relief pitchers have to go 3 full batters before they come out of the game.
DH.
Universal DH. Thank you. I forgot about that one. That's an interesting one. And exempt from the playoffs. Now in extra innings, a runner will start on second base. What do you guys think of the new rules?
Ridiculous.
All of them?
Except for the universal DH.
You got any explanation to back up your claims? Or you're just going to say ridiculous?
Why is there a need to put a runner on second?
Thank you.
I don't understand that. That's unfair if the team doesn't score in the top of the inning, and I don't know. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Yep.
God damn, this fly is annoying. Jeez. All right.
Probably attracted to your stench.
And the 3-batter rule, we already went over that in previous podcasts. That shit is stupid.
You agree with what he's saying?
Yeah, I think that if you just get lucky and hit like a bloop single in the extra innings, it's kind of unfair and doesn't really show who deserves to win the game.
Absolutely
I think it's
not.
fucking bullshit because you can hit a single left-handed if you really wanted to as a professional player. It
changes the entire dynamic. Like, you could either play for multiple runs with the runner on second, or you can play for one run. Like, you could be 0 outs. First guy bunts the guy over, and now you have a runner on third with 1 out. All you have to do is hit a sac fly or a ground ball to the opposite side to score your man. Like, it makes baseball a completely different set of circumstances in order to win a game. It's not natural to how the game's supposed to be.
Right, and I think it's more based on how your team is set up.
Yep.
You can do that if you have very strong pitching, or you can be more hitting focused if your pitching's pretty shitty. So
yeah.
I think it'll change the game in a little bit.
It depends what part of your lineup is up too. Like, I mean, you probably won't do the bunt and move over and sack fly if you got 3, 4, 5 up. But like, if you start 7, 8, 9, of course you're going to try to manufacture a run. You know, so it makes the managerial approach a lot more different. It puts more stress on the relief pitchers. I don't like it, man. I understand it's a 60-game season, which is 20 games less than basketball, which is, you know, sprint versus marathon, which baseball usually is, 162, which I don't like. And I don't know, man. I understand that it's a test season with only 60 games. They're testing a bunch of shit out, but, like, come on, right?
Yeah.
Come the fuck on. Are you serious with the runner? I think the runner on second actually pisses me off more than the fucking 3-batter rule.
Yeah,
because the 3-batter rule. The 3-batter rule is stupid too, because now you can't do lefty matchups, righty matchups for one batter and take them out, and they're trying to speed up the fucking game, which, as I mentioned before in the previous 3 minutes, what PJ didn't like. Baseball is like football or not football, like fishing or golf, in the sense that it's not meant to be sped up. You're supposed to go to a goddamn ballpark, watch a whole fucking game, and enjoy yourself. Drink a beer or 2, enjoy yourself. Watch the fucking game. And people's attention spans are just getting short, and I feel like the appreciation for the game of baseball is being lost.
I understand that you're just supposed to relax and have fun, but that does not mean it's like fishing or golf.
It does. In the sense that it's a pastime.
How is the game of baseball like fishing or golf?
I think he's just talking about how long it is.
Like, a lot of people... I've recently gained appreciation for fishing. I like fishing. Yeah. Fishing is great. You go out to a fucking countryside, you spend a whole goddamn day out there, and you're maybe get one or two.
Basic.
Just hang out. It's a nice way to spend a day. It's the same thing with baseball. It's not meant to be sped up. There shouldn't be a pitch clock. There's no fucking pitch clock or shot clock or anything between casting your rod and fucking taking a putt. Okay? So why you got to do it with baseball? Baseball's not meant to be played in quarters, halves, or periods. So I just don't understand why we got to speed up the game, man. I guess it's more appealed towards the American audience, but in my opinion, it's fucking stupid. I'm a baseball fan. I don't know what you guys feel about it. That's just the way I
agree.
fucking
I agree.
But on the terms of the universal DH, I kind of conflicted on that one. Do you guys like the universal
like
DH? Why do you like it?
Because I don't think pitchers should be hitting. They have one job, which is to pitch.
I disagree with that. I adamantly disagree with that.
Okay.
Because now you take the bat out of hands of Madison Bumgarner, who's proved he can hit. He's had 2 grand slams in a year, 5 home runs in a year, including 30 RBIs. Take the bat out of people like Michael Lorenzen on the Reds.
Lorenzen's wet.
He's played in a game. He's played center field.
Okay,
pitched,
then he can play those positions
and got the fucking win.
Okay, Sam, are you gonna choose those dudes to hit over an actual MLB hitter?
I mean, I understand that the game is evolving and changing.
Just because they can hit doesn't change anything.
No, but obviously, you have to make the argument that there are a bunch of pitchers out there who can't fucking hit. Like Bartolo Colon had
the majority.
Majority. I mean, but all I'm saying is it changes situational baseball too. It's historical that the NL is no DH, and obviously change is inevitable, but it's nice to maintain the roots and the culture of what baseball actually is. I mean, maybe I'm just a fucking old head for saying that, but I don't know, man. I mean, mentally, I don't fucking know, man. I'm just saying.
I think it provides an unfair advantage to the AL.
I agree with that.
Just
definitely.
Because the NL isn't really necessarily prepared to have a universal DH, and they've only had a couple days' notice.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a wrench in the mix.
That's true. I think pitchers should have the options to hit for themselves, though. Like Madison Bumgarner should hit for the Diamondbacks this year. Yeah. Michael Lorenzen should absolutely fucking hit this year. Fucking who's another pitcher? Travis Wood. Travis Wood, pitcher. He's a very, very good hitter. There are those diamonds in the rough out there who can hit. So me personally, I like to stay rooted within the game. But on the other hand, I understand it. And one cool storyline that's come out of this, I don't know if you guys have heard this. These guys probably haven't. Is that the Giants may re-sign a 55-year-old Barry Bonds to come back and DH for their team.
Hell yeah!
What do you guys think? I mean, I guess the Giants don't really have much to play for this year, anyways. Am I right?
Yeah, that hurts, but yeah, they really don't. I think it's more for Barry Bonds' legacy than anything.
Yeah.
As well as just kind of bringing something new to Giants baseball.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not like we're going to be attracting fans.
Yeah, exactly. It's just to spice it up a little bit, I think.
Yeah, you got an opinion on Barry Bonds?
I mean, if he wants to come back, then that's fine. I don't really care.
But you're high energy today, aren't you?
I mean, it's not like a groundbreaking big thing. It's
pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
If he can hit at 55 years old, that's at my cap to him, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
As I was saying pre-show, I think it's more towards his Hall of Fame eligibility because he's 8 years in, he has 2 years left, and one of the greatest hitters of all time has a chance of not making the Hall of Fame, due to steroid usage. When before he even used Hall of Fame, I don't know how closely you guys have looked at his career, but on the Pirates, he was like a 30-30 guy. He's the only member ever of the 500-500 club, which is home runs and steals. Like, he was on a Hall of Fame track before he used steroids. Right. So I think it's interesting to reset his clock and give the voters another 10 years to think about if he really does deserve to be in there. What are you guys steroid proponents in terms of Hall of Fame, or like Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds and McGuire? What do you guys think about their Hall of Fame cases?
I think specifically for Barry Bonds, it's a little bit different just because he was good before the usage of steroids.
Correct.
And I think the era influenced a lot of his choices in terms of steroids. So
among other people too, Sosa and Rafael Palmeiro and a lot of great players. Yeah.
But I don't know if we can get enough people to look past the fact that he used steroids.
I agree.
So it's a very controversial thing, and I think that he probably won't end up getting into the Hall of Fame just because he won't be able to turn a lot of people.
Not in the next 2 years, at least.
Yeah. So I think that extending his eligibility is definitely a good thing, just to let the idea at least marinate.
Yeah.
I think that Barry Bonds should be a Hall of Famer, personally, just because if you think about it, everyone was on roids, so mean,
that doesn't validate it because at
It
the
doesn't
same time there were people off the roids too who were having great careers.
Right.
Like Chipper Jones was playing at the same
Right,
time,
but-
and Chipper Jones was one of the greatest switch hitters of all time. He was completely clean.
right, but I think that Barry Bonds was. I hate the Giants too, so if I have to
Fucking hate
say
him. Fucking hate him.
if I have to say something good about the Giants, then fuck me. But Barry Bonds is. I don't know. He's goated, I guess. I thought even with or without steroids, he was good. Like they just
Right.
said, Barry Bonds is. I mean, it's with steroids. A lot of people use steroids, and a lot of people didn't see the results that he had, or even
That's true.
close.
Well,
Right.
here's the other thing.
Or
You
like
have to
half
consider.
the results.
Here's what you have to consider in that is because of his home run ability due to the steroids, you also have to look at the on base percentage because he was intentionally walked far more than anyone else
Yeah.
in baseball history.
Even with the bases loaded.
Yeah, literally, he's been walked to start off an inning. He's been walked with the bases loaded. Like he is they'd rather give up 1 RBI than fucking 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So it's insane. Like you have to kind of measure out those statistics when looking at it. But I will say, you guys know me. I'm not a steroid proponent at all.
Right.
I think you can be great at baseball without any enhancements. Obviously, over the course of baseball history, there have been enhancements, whether it's steroids or apparently now fucking cameras. Obviously, that's the worst of it all. Or even like something like Adderall. Like what Chris Davis used when he hit 55 home runs in a year.
Right.
But like. The one thing I will say is if there's one Hall of Famer that deserves to be in there, it's going to be Barry Bonds.
Or
But,
Pete Rose.
well, that's a whole different
gambling.
thing. Don't get me started on Pete
yeah,
Rose.
Pete
man.
definitely, in my opinion, he definitely
4,000
deserves.
hits, a centerpiece of a dominant franchise in the 70s. The A's would have been on absolute crack if it wasn't for the Reds in the 70s, the Big Red Machine. Think about it. We won 3 and then we lost another
It
one.
says absolute crack as if it's a good thing.
I'm just saying, man. We would have been very, 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 very fucking good. More for the Big Red Machine. But Barry Bonds, here's the thing: is if you let one in, then the floodgates kind of open for all of them. Then you talk about what about Roger Clemens? He had fucking did he have like 7 Cy Youngs? He had like as many Cy Youngs as Bonds had MVPs.
Yeah.
So it's like floodgates all kind of open for all these guys, but so
Right.
it's either none of them or all of them, and I feel like that's a huge dilemma.
Yeah, especially with steroid usage in Barry Bonds. You can't really use steroids to enhance your swing. Have you seen that man swing? It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful swing.
It's a beautiful swing.
It adds power. It adds power for sure. But me personally, I'd rather know what pitch is coming to me every goddamn time at the Astros than take steroids and have a chance at hitting the ball.
Right.
Because you give Barry Bonds, regardless if he had steroids or not, you give him anything on the middle in half of the plate, he's whacking the shit out of it every time.
Jesus Christ, man.
The dude is in insane power, and I think he just got bigger from it rather than being an all-around speedy guy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's move on in terms of the rules now to the actual season. As an A's fan, I'm kind of fearful in the 60 game. What do you guys think the A's will make the playoffs in 60 games?
Hopefully.
It's tough. I think
The A's are a second half team.
Yeah,
they are a second half team.
That's the whole thing about it is the A's usually get hot in June, July, and that's when we start to have the better record in the league. But usually through April and half of May, we're around 500, if not below that. It takes a while for us, so I'm kind of scared about seeing if we're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's definitely about how they start. If they start off hot, I think they definitely make the playoffs because they'll just carry the
most
momentum.
teams that start off hot will probably.
Yeah, it's a sprint, not a marathon anymore. It's 102 games less than what it's supposed to be. We're getting our baseball fix as fans, but it's not the baseball season we know. And on top of this, the season will always have an asterisk next to it.
Yeah.
Just like the 2017 season should. Sorry. But, it's going to be interesting. I think one team that's really going to be juiced off of this whole season in relation to one of the new rules of the universal DH is the Dodgers, man. Just think about it. They always have so many hitters. Jock Peterson sometimes doesn't play. He'll be like a DH for life, forever now. And then they just have so much talent on their roster in terms of hitters.
And their farm.
Yeah, their farm.
They always have good hitters in their farm, to be honest.
That's true.
Gavin Lux is really good.
He's very good. They still have Corey Seager. They still have Justin Turner. They still have Cody Bellinger. They still have Max Muncy. They have a lot of good. They still have Chris Taylor. They have a lot of good hitters, man. So now it's not 1 through 8 in the pitcher anymore. It's 1 through fucking 9, and all 9 of those guys can really hit. Oh, not even to mention Mookie Betts. I didn't even fucking
Mookie.
Mookie.
I hate when he
bro.
says Mookie.
I don't give a fuck. Whatever, man. But
Regardless, he's a fantastic hitter.
very, very good hitter. One of the best true contact hitters in the sport who has additional power and a fantastic glove and arm. He's a
And he can
That's-
run the bases.
man, no shit. Man. Real 5 tool right there. Real 5
Yeah.
tool. Because these flies are really swarming, aren't they? God damn it.
Want to move on to football?
Let me go one more thing. What do you guys think about teams this year that might make the playoffs that didn't for baseball?
It's,
The Reds? You got any explanation for that? Or are you just gonna speak?
I like the Reds. I think that they got a good pitching staff. They got
Great pitching staff.
Who's it? Aquino? Is that?
They
Is
got
that
RC's the hitter.
Yeah,
they
Aquino's
got- they
really
got- starts
good.
really open.
Suarez,
Yeah,
nasty.
Yep.
Suarez is large.
They got some
Still got
pieces.
Votto. Still got
Votto is an
Moustakas,
ageless
still
wonder,
got-
dude.
Yep.
Again, it's
Yep.
kind of like whoever starts fast is gonna probably get in the playoffs.
Do you think the Reds will start fast then?
Maybe I don't
They
know. Derek Dietrich, that's one of my favorite players ever, man. Derek Dietrich, shout out
Dietrich is a
Derek
fucking
Dietrich,
pimp.
absolute pimp, dude. He's so
The
fucking.
sleeveless too.
And then their staff, as you mentioned, they got
Bauer
Sonny Gray,
outage.
Bauer outage, Trevor Bauer, Luis Castillo, like that. Those three, that's formidable. And then you have Wade Miley as your 4. Like that's a great 4. If you get into the playoffs,
And
that is a very
fuck,
very
what's-
good 4.
Amir Garrett is pretty good on like certain days.
Shit.
I mean, he's very on and off.
He's
but
also he's a reliever.
Yeah.
I mean he's not even the closer, is he? I think they have.
I don't
They
think
have
so.
Iglesias.
Iglesias. They have Raisel Iglesias.
Yeah, Raisel
I think
Iglesias.
he is the closer.
He's definitely not, because when he got in the fight with the Pirates, he came into 11.
Oh, yeah.
He's not the closer. How about an AL team? I think that the NL Central is going to be really competitive. That's going to be a really good division this year.
Yeah.
You got an AL team. You guys thinking scraping the playoffs after not missing it last year?
I mean, Indians, I guess.
The Indians are a good one.
I think the Indians are the obvious pick. Yeah.
I think there's a better pick than the Indians, the Los Angeles Angels. As much as I hate to say it.
Oh yeah,
The
absolutely.
Angels, I mean, it's really,
Shohei.
yeah, it just comes down to
Trout,
pitching.
like, yeah.
It comes down to pitching. Like you're gonna have Shohei pitching this year. I think the number 2 is Julio Tehran. So you got him from the Braves, but like he's not what he used to be. And then you have Dylan Bundy, who used to be a top prospect.
Yeah,
But then
used to be
But then you talk about that lineup though. You have
Rendon.
Otani, Pujols, Rendon, Upton, Simmons. Not even to mention
Calhoun
fucking
still the
Trout.
right fielder?
No, he left. But they got top prospect Joe Adell coming up.
Joe Adell's
They have
raw.
Tommy La Stella. Like they have so many hitters
They are
over there.
stacked from top to bottom.
They're hitting. Their lineup is insane.
Yeah.
So I mean, it really comes down to pitching. But I think their hitting can absolutely compete with the A's. Their hitting can compete with the Astros too. So now it really, pitching wins championships as shown by the Washington Nationals. But they definitely have a chance to make the playoffs. Maybe get Mike Trout his first career playoff win. That's fucking sad to say, but
Yeah, they do have a lot of pitching potential, though. I will say.
yeah, a lot of
I mean,
potential
They,
for sure.
they have a lot of players who used to be top prospects, but aren't so much anymore.
Andrew Heaney's another good name. I like Andrew.
There's a
Heaney.
guy who had Tommy John like a couple of times.
Talking about Garrett Richards.
Yeah, Garrett Richards.
I don't even know if he's still there. I
Well,
don't know where he is now.
yeah,
But he was
But
good. They kind of wasted
mainly
his
looking
prime.
at Dylan Bundy.
Yeah.
He has the stuff. He just can't really.
That's
put
the
it
big
together.
one. If they could get him as like a number 3 starter and be consistent,
Absolutely.
that's the big one. All right, I guess PJ's had enough MLB talk, so we'll move a little bit to NFL. Let me start here. This is a great debate that these two have always had. As you guys know, through the 13 jersey, this guy likes Michael Thomas. And on the other hand, this guy thinks that his counter-division rival, Julio Jones, is the greatest wide receiver in the league. So I'm going to kind of just let you guys go at it here. State your case.
I
State your case.
just want to say this: it's Julio and MT. It's not DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think he's as good as either of them.
Wait till the end of next season. Not after last season, but then the next season, he very well could be with Kyler and Cliff Kingsbury. He could.
I
Yeah.
mean,
No, I'm scared of the Cards, but we'll save that for later.
Yeah, we will.
I think that while Julio might be faster, more athletic, or whatever, he doesn't produce as much as Michael Thomas.
System
And
wide
that-
receiver.
Sam, that's fucking stupid.
It's not. Debo Samuel's a system wide receiver. It's not.
Just let him finish.
All right, go ahead. Sorry. So I'm not trying to give you a fucking. Just breathe. Just breathe.
Sam, he's just You compile your stupidity with stupid things all the time.
How is that stupid? Please explain to me how
Sam.
system wide receiver is stupid.
Because they have to be able to get open. It's not like
Yeah, you do, but there are obviously plays drawn for wide receivers. Deebo Samuel
no
has so many
shit.
end around
That
plays
doesn't
and so
make-
many plays where you can put
Sam.
all stack receivers on one side
But
and help in cross coverage. There are so many ways that wide receivers can get open outside of fucking route running. There are so many ways.
a system wide receiver. It's like saying somebody is good because of a system.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah,
A receiver
I'm
can't
not
be
saying
good
that Michael
because of a
Thomas has no
system.
talent. I'm not saying Michael Thomas has no talent.
So Julio is, like I said, he doesn't produce as much, and it doesn't fucking matter what route you run, as long as it gets the fucking job done. And we've seen that Michael Thomas is not just a product of Drew, because he did better without Drew. After he did better with Teddy Bridgewater.
I'll agree with that. That kind of backs.
Sam, please stop talking. Like you.
Okay, so continue.
Like if you look at every stat except for like maybe yards per route, Michael Thomas is better. So I don't really understand the argument for Julio.
I understand that Michael Thomas's production is something entirely different.
Yep.
Michael Thomas's production is unbelievable. I will give you that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm more getting at that Julio, if you're going to start a franchise, I would pick Julio over Michael Thomas any day, just because he is faster, he's a better route runner, he's a better jump ball catcher.
I'll say route runner's debatable.
That's the one
We'll
say tie. We'll say tie. We'll give it to Michael Thomas.
Route running, Michael. That's what Michael Thomas beats.
Route
Michael Thomas
has
been proven to not be one of the fastest.
No, he runs like a 4.6.
Yeah, he runs like a 4.5 or 4.6, but he's able to break way off of his
right. So I'll give him
routes.
that. He's a good route runner. But I think if I'm going to start a franchise, I'm taking Julio just because it's been proven that once Julio gets a good coach and a good situation, like Kyle Shanahan, he's going to break records. And when Michael Thomas came in the league, he had Drew Brees, arguably a top 5 quarterback of all time, with top 5 quarterback of all time, with Sean Payton, who is one of the best coaches in the league right now, offensively.
One of the best coaches in the league over the past 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. So when you give Julio a good coach, he breaks records.
Yeah, it's true.
And I just think that Julio is more skilled and
Michael Thomas breaks records. He just broke the all-time receptions record. And while it hasn't just been
that's his argument. Did you not see his argument there? Is that he broke records because he had the good system behind him with a great coach and a great quarterback. What he just said is that Julio's not breaking records because his offensive coordinator right now is dog shit. And Kyle Shanahan is on the level of play calling of Sean Payton. That's what his argument is.
I understood his argument.
Okay, so go.
I was trying to say that while it hasn't just been Michael Thomas had a lot more success than Julio, even though Julio got to the Super Bowl, but Shanahan kind of choked that one. No offense.
He did.
No, I agree with that. He chokes fourth quarters.
All I'm saying is third time is the charm. It's going to happen.
Okay, keep going.
So, I think the Saints have been better than the Falcons the last couple of years. So
Absolutely.
It's not a debate right now.
So I would, if you're going to start one, I'm taking the team who's winning more, and I know it's not just Michael Thomas, but
the defenses. The Atlanta Falcons' defense is a perennial bottom.
Right, but the Saints' offense is better than the Falcons too.
Yeah, post Shanahan it is. Yeah, but the year that the Falcons got to the Super Bowl, I'd say their offense was better than the Saints.
Which year?
It's all. What was that? 2017.
No, but which Saints team is it better than?
I'm saying the one that the Falcons made the Super Bowl and the Saints didn't make the playoffs.
So the 2016.
I think that's 2016.
Okay.
The 28
So rookie Michael Thomas. All right, fine.
Yeah.
I don't think that's very fair, but anyways.
But that's what
Julio Drew Brees passed for 5,000 yards that year.
If you're talking about better teams, it is fair.
If we were to compare 2016 Julio to, I guess, 2019 Michael Thomas.
I'm taking Michael Thomas.
The year when Julio had a 300-yard game? Because I don't think Michael Thomas has had a 300-yard game. Much less a 200-yard game.
He's had 200-yard games.
Yes.
He dropped 200 on Marcus Peters' head when we played the Rams.
To be fair, though, Marcus Peters wasn't that good until he got to the Ravens.
He was not.
When he
good.
was on the Chiefs, he was like at the beginning of the Chiefs, he was good. Then he tailed off. Then he
Okay,
got
but still, it's 200 yards.
right.
You got fucking
Regardless,
torched.
I'm not going to take that away from him.
What was I gonna say? I got sidetracked.
Yeah, you're right. He had 211 yards on Marcus Peters' head.
I was gonna say something, and then I got interrupted.
Talking about team success.
Team success.
Talking Falcons 2016 Julio.
Oh yeah. You said he isn't having any 300-yard games. Well, he's not setting the all-time record for most receptions. You know, Michael Thomas needs like five more catches to have the record for most catches in 5 seasons by any receiver ever.
4 seasons.
No, he's been in the league since this was his 4th year, I think. No, this is about to be his 4th year. Or that's what I meant. 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019.
No, think about it. He's on the 4th year of his contract, and he doesn't have a 5th-year option. He's not a first-round pick, and he re-signed.
He's on a $100 million contract.
Regardless,
Sam. He's not on a rookie contract.
I know.
Regardless,
it doesn't fucking matter. To set the record. He needs 5 more catches. I think he's already tied for the most catches ever, or most seasons ever with.
You're right. This is his 5th season. You're right.
He's already tied for the most seasons ever with over 120 catches.
Yeah.
And that's 2, and he's only been in the league for 4 years so far.
okay.
So I mean, production is off the chart.
Production in terms of receptions, but I think historically receptions have never really been the measure of a great wide receiver.
That's true.
I mean,
he
led the league in yards. So is that
he did? That is a measure. That is
a
measure.
No, I agree with that. That is a measure, but I think that receptions argument is kind of flawed because before that it was held by Marvin Harrison, who is by no means one of the top 3 receivers of all time.
No, I'd say fringe top 5, maybe top 7.
Yeah.
Still.
Here's the argument that I'm going to make, or less of the argument, more of the distinction that you guys kind of touched on. If you want production on a game-by-game basis, a guy who could go out and catch 10 to 12 balls a game from your quarterback, that is Michael Thomas. But if you want one guy who can take over a game, I'm taking single-handedly could take over a game. Even so, you saw that against our fucking 49ers, man. He went in the last second, pushed through the goddamn goal line. Like Julio's a force to be reckoned with, man. So I mean, in terms of it's kind of talent versus hard work here. You know, I think Julio has all the talent in the world.
Yeah.
Not saying he doesn't work hard.
Ceiling versus
but Michael Thomas works his fucking ass off. He works his tail off, and he's earned the right to be called the best wide receiver in the league, if not the second best wide receiver. And I would say, DeAndre Hopkins is probably 3rd. But yeah, it's really what you want over domination versus dependence.
I think that what you said was somewhat right for the first time in your life.
Oh, that's the first time, right? Out of every sports conversation we've ever had, I've never been right about anything.
You're very, very, really right. I mean, you just compared baseball to fishing. So.
Bro, that's a reasonable comparison in terms of not the game itself, in terms of the time spent, the pastime. It's a reasonable comparison.
Oh my goodness, I hate this so
All right,
much.
should we move on?
Then we can cancel the podcast if you fucking hate it.
Well, I mean, you were trying to do that, but anyways.
Oh
should we move on?
Yeah, we can move on. Another thing you guys have argued over in the past is Drew Brees versus Joe Montana.
Not even close. Not.
Okay,
go ahead.
I'll let you explain your case first.
Joe Montana is the most overrated quarterback of all time.
The most overrated?
That's
okay.
simple.
Wait. Like you gotta
of all time greats. Like Joe Montana was obviously he won a lot, but he probably had one of the best teams around him.
True. Very true. Very true.
Give Drew Brees those teams.
We'll repeat that.
Give Drew Brees those teams, and they're winning more than Joe Montana. I'm sorry.
I agree with that, actually.
They're Drew Brees, obviously, until now, has never had a defense. Give prime Drew Brees. Fucking.
You mean 5,000-yard years when he went 8-8?
He broke the record for most passing yards ever when he went 13-3.
Okay, so he had
he
had one playoff season.
And I read Jonathan Wang I read Jay Wang the scores from every game that season, and almost every single game the other team was scoring at least 30 points.
Yeah, I mean the thing with Drew though is the fact that even though he's clearly very skilled, there becomes a point where it's not just bad luck after you like lose to the Vikings a couple times in a row or miss the playoffs or don't get a ring. Like it's not just bad luck that's happening to Drew Brees. I mean, I'm not saying Jimmy's anywhere near the level of Drew, but Jimmy is a proven winner. Jimmy wins games.
Right.
It's not.
He didn't win anything himself.
That's not necessarily
that's
true, but
very false.
we won't get into that.
He won the first game versus the Cardinals.
Game versus the Rams.
Fucking that game. He won the game versus the Rams.
So
you could make the argument.
A proven winner is beating the Cardinals.
He won the game versus the Saints.
It's a regular season game.
You saw it live, though. 350 yards and 4 touchdowns.
It's a regular season game.
But at the same time, you can't.
He didn't have to do shit versus the Packers. I will say that. Versus the Packers, he didn't have to do shit because they can't defend the run. But he can win games.
Sam, how is he a proven winner?
Because if you look at his all-time record, bro, look at Shanahan's record before and after Jimmy G.
He also has the highest winning rate.
Goodness.
He has a higher winning rate.
Sam, Jimmy G is like the 5th person, like Stephen A. says, he's like the 5th person you think about when you think of the Niners.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter, bro, but he still wins.
Okay, that's first year Jimmy G. So if you think about it, if he's getting to the Super Bowl in his very first year as a true starting quarterback, well, what else are you supposed to say?
He's not the reason they got there.
But
he played well enough to get there, bro. He was 25 yards short of 4,000 yards. He came back from the first 8 games of the year on an ACL injury. And if you think about it historically, every quarterback who comes back from an ACL injury has an adjustment period. You could say that with Deshaun Watson. You could say that with Derek Carr, which he's still adjusting. You could say that with Carson Wentz. Every single quarterback needs time to get comfortable in the pocket and regain their comfortability. And Jimmy G did that, and you could see his numbers in the second half of the season. Where his schedule was harder versus he had the Ravens,
the
Packers, and Saints.
Packers.
3 teams over an 800 winning percentage back to back, and won 2 out of 3, including 2 of them on the road. So you can't say he didn't have a good season.
I didn't say that. I said he's not a proven fucking winner.
He is.
Because he didn't win a Super Bowl.
Right now. Okay, he didn't win a Super Bowl.
You can't.
That's out of how many starts. That's out of like less than 30 starts.
Okay, but just because he didn't have as many starts doesn't make him a proven winner. That's not an excuse. It just means he hasn't had enough time in the league yet to become one.
It kind of.
I'm not saying he won't become one. I'm saying he's not one yet. And you need to slow the fuck down on the Jimmy G meat sucking.
I'm not meat sucking. I'm defending, bro, because everyone's trying to discredit everything he's done.
When he's top 5 in play action, he's top 5 in completion. Please don't. Please, Sam.
Okay, so you're allowed to suck off Drew Brees for hours on end, and I can't say 5 minutes of positive things about my quarterback.
You're sitting here screaming and saying you're defending. No one's coming after.
You're telling me that you've never screamed about Drew Brees.
No one is coming after Jimmy G.
You just told me he's not a proven winner.
That's not because he hasn't had enough time in the league yet as a starter.
Okay, bro.
To get back where
last year he went 13-3. And then the year before, he went 5-0 when he came over to our team when we were a 1-10 team.
I'm about to walk off, Sam. Like, this is ridiculous.
Okay, so the
18-3.
Please.
What's the playoffs?
Please, Sam. Okay, we get it. You can be right. I just don't want to hear your voice anymore. Please.
All right, fine.
Stop screaming.
Fine.
Please stop screaming.
So the conversation we initially had was Drew versus Joe.
He turned it into Jimmy G.
Well, you tried to fucking say Jimmy G's not a proven winner when he's 20 and 4. I'm just saying.
I think my point was more that Drew doesn't. I was gonna say Drew doesn't win enough, but he does. My point is that he doesn't really come through enough in the bigger games, which is arguable. But I mean, it's happened to him so many times in a row. That's not just bad luck. 1 for 1 in the
Super Bowl. You will say that much. When he gets there, he wins it.
That's true, but getting there is a different story.
That's true.
I mean, very true. Are you using which game are you using? The last game, because that's one game.
I mean, I'm just talking about his entire
career was defined by one game. Marcus Williams' career was defined by one game. He'd be out of the league, but instead, he's one of the top rising safeties in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not even an opinion. That's just facts.
Exactly, but that's just his point. But I'm just saying, like,
keep this. I'm trying to help.
I'm not discrediting. Stop being so defensive.
Anyway, what I was saying was, podcast kid. Drew continually doesn't do well towards the end of the season, and that's not. It may not be his fault.
That's only because he's 41, and that's only been the last couple of years.
I mean, early in his career, he was getting ridden. I mean, like he doesn't get breaks. All he does is throw, and that's
had a lot of years of bad defense.
Yeah,
a lot of years.
I mean, that's by no means his fault. But when that's happened over the course of his entire career, it's not. There's only one common denominator, and that's him.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he's had a million defenses, but he's always been the common denominator on that Saints team.
But in defense of Drew Brees, I mean, I'm not trying to knock Joe Montana here because obviously Joe Montana had one of the greatest defenses. But you can look at Tom Brady too, and you could say like perennially, like Belichick is a defensive coach. Like Tom Brady is good on offense, obviously, and they have good offensive coordinators over there. But the Patriots in like the last 10 years have not had a team that has had below a top 10 defense like ever. And Drew Brees has not been blessed with that. Drew Brees does not have that. He's had I think he's had 1 year he had literally the worst historical defense in terms of yards given up over a Lions team from like the fucking 60s. And the Lions haven't even made the Super Bowl before. So and you could say the same thing like Archie Manning won an MVP when his team was fucking terrible because he put up his numbers, but his team doesn't do. It's a team game, right? You can't just win because of fucking. It's like the Rockets in basketball. It's comparable to that. Rockets could shoot as many threes as you want and fucking and put them in, but if you don't play any fucking defense, you're not going to win. Right. It's the same thing with Drew Brees. Drew Brees has not been blessed with the defenses like Joe Montana has. I will say that. That is true.
Drew Brees has always led the Saints to a top 5 offense every single fucking year.
Mm-hmm.
And during his prime, his prime was it's kind of difficult because he had his 5,000 yard years, which was like the main prime, but you also have the years where he's not chucking the ball down the field, but he's doing it at he's setting records for completion percentage.
Dink and dunk, yeah.
Yeah, so it's two different type of players. The new people who watch the NFL now who are young don't realize that they see Drew dink and dunk and it's like, oh, well, he's not this, not that. Drew's prime, he was bombing it down the field every fucking possession.
Marcus Colston would get those long balls all the time.
Yeah, bro, he was bombing that shit, bro. They don't know nothing about that, but anyways.
He's a real gunslinger.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger, gunslingers.
Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Gunslinger.
But, anyways, getting to Drew versus Joe, there was a season where Drew Brees passed for 5,000 yards, and he had less attempts than Joe Montana, and he never passed for 4,000 yards once in his career. So, there's no excuses for why you can't pass for 4,000 yards. With Jerry Rice and all that great team around you, there's no excuses for that.
Well, you also have to think about the running back that he had being Roger Craig. Roger Craig. He's a great all-time running back. So, it's the same thing with Jimmy G. Obviously, we don't have the one running back, but we have the three running backs in the carousel that we can just break them out anytime, and it takes so much stress off the quarterback. That's just been the Niners historically. They're much more of a balanced offense, that West Coast offense, rather than a straight, gunning offense with everyone.
But still, they had more attempts. You can't.
Yeah, that's true. That's undeniable.
That's undeniable. Still more than 1,000 less yards. That's ridiculous.
With the greatest wide receiver of all time. Yeah,
exactly. You got to be able to.
But you also when you do look at the defenses that he had, man.
I want you to put Joe Montana on those Saints teams. He's not even going 7-9. He's not. I'm sorry.
I don't know about that.
He wouldn't be that bad, but
you can't say that.
He'd maybe go 6-10. He would go 7-9.
But what I will say is,
not on the
Sam. How is he going to?
Not on the bad teams, but on every good team that Drew's had with a good defense, he would make the playoffs. Dude.
Yeah. Yeah. No shit.
Yeah, but you're saying that he wouldn't have made any difference on the bad poor defense.
No, on the bad poor defense teams, he's not doing anything.
I can agree with that. That's something we can agree on. We agreed on something.
You guys want to shake hands? Yeah. Maybe hug it out?
We can.
Stop yelling all the time. Not be so angry.
You both fucking yell, man.
Yeah, but you really scream when everyone's talking normal, and you scream in my ear. All right, get to the next topic.
All right,
Paul. That's cute.
All right. Let's see. What should we talk about? Should we talk about Cam to the Patriots?
Oh yeah, how Cam ain't shit. You still ain't shit. You won't ever be shit because fuck the Panthers and fuck Cam Newton.
Wow. So you don't believe in Cam Newton at all to make a career resurface?
I think that he's motivated, but he's motivated to throw some more picks and get hurt some more.
Okay, so something interesting. Wow. Cam Newton, since November 2018, is 0-8 as a starter, 2 shoulder injuries, a foot injury, and benched and outplayed by Kyle Allen, which is kind of crazy. Right. In his last 4 starts, he's 0-4, 6 yards per average, 56% completion percentage, 2 for 15 on downfield throws. And guess who his wide receiver one is now, who led the league in drops last year?
Who's that?
Julian Edelman.
Well, here's the only thing that I heard was 2 shoulder injuries and a foot injury. That's what I heard out of you, man. So the arm, we got to see if he can get that back, but the foot injury will come back and he'll play his running gun style. He will do that. That is what he will do. But the throwing is what we need to see of. Because we could tell, like, towards the end of the 2018 season, you could tell he wasn't right. He came in the 2019 and he played a little bit, but then he got shut down for the whole season. So, with that said, I feel like people are giving up on him a little too quickly because we've seen a healthy Cam Newton is a force to be reckoned with. Obviously, probably not going to put up 4,000 yards or put up 3,000 something, but he'll use his legs and he'll get into the end zone. And as a dual threat, he can do anything, especially under a mind like Bill Belichick. So I believe if he went somewhere like the Jaguars or the Redskins to try to
It's
resurface,
fucked.
I think it's fucked. But
It's
just
fucked.
because of the system he was put in, you know, he could. I think he could resurface. I don't know if you guys.
I think that obviously Cam Newton will never be a good pocket passer. That's just not him.
Okay.
And if he can't be able to
All-time
run,
scrambler though.
if
All-time
he
scrambler.
can't,
definitely.
if he's not able to run, all the shit I just talked about Cam Newton. Obviously, it's all jokes. I don't wish any injuries on nobody, but it's like if he can't run or do any of this because of his injuries, he's done for. Because that's the only thing going for him. He's not he can't throw the ball.
He can't throw the ball with his shoulder injury.
He can't throw the ball anyway.
He
looks good now.
No, in his 2015 season, there are many long ball plays that he threw down the Ted Ginn.
No, it was home run. He was a
He
home
was
run
home
hitter.
run hitting. And he does have a good arm. He can get it 50, 60 yards down the field if he wants to. It's a matter of accuracy. He does have the arm strength. He's just got to be able to drop it in.
Right.
So
I think the skill ceiling is definitely there. Like he can, especially with Bill. If there's one coach to get anything out of 31-year-old Cam Newton, it's Bill.
I agree.
However, I don't know how much he will be able to get out of him because Cam's more off script than I feel like anybody besides maybe Russell Wilson is.
That's true.
So I don't know how much control Bill's going to have over Cam.
Cam Newton in his MVP season had a 58 completion.
Yeah, he wasn't
right,
great.
but I mean, he also used his legs to go for 1,000.
That's what I'm.
that one play where
he didn't rush for 1,000 yards, but
it was like 800.
Because Lamar Jackson is the only one to ever do that.
That's true.
And like I said, Cam Newton scrambling is all-time great. But if you cannot scramble, you're done for because that's the only thing you got.
So that's a matter of healing up the foot injury. The shoulder injury is a whole other animal. It's not even throwing. But if he can run it, I think he can be very successful. You guys still think the Bills have the edge on the AFC East, or you think the Patriots are going to be back there?
It depends if Cam can be healthy.
Supporting cast. The Patriots have almost nobody right now. Their wide receiver one's Julian Edelman. Their offensive line coach left, who's arguably one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL.
Yeah.
And they let go of all their defensive players. I just don't.
I disagree with that. Who did they let go
of? Kyle Van Noy. They did Trey Flowers in.
Trey Flowers is going to hurt.
Yeah, Trey Flowers does hurt.
I mean, he was. They didn't.
I mean, realistically, the only thing that's left is their secondary.
Right, but they didn't lose him this offseason. He's been on the Lions.
Realistically, their secondary is probably the scariest part of their team.
Definitely the McCourty twins and
but
Gilmore.
They're gonna be covering forever because they don't have that much.
But they also still have Hightower and Jamie Collins. Like, it's not over with. Their defense is still going to be a top 5 defense this year.
I think
I would. They were top 1 last year over the Niners.
That's
and
true.
That's not even, as I was saying to PJ another time, if you look at a group of 11 guys, I think the Niners had a better group of 11 guys.
We're going to have to wrap this up soon, though.
I think the Niners had a better group of 11 guys, but like when you look at the top heavy, you have the defensive player of the year and then this whole secondary, and they're I'd say the Niners front line is much better than their secondary and the linebacking core. The linebacking core is about even because we got Fred Warner and Quan and they're fucking nasty. Yeah. Dre Greenlaw, the Seahawk killer. Right. I think the Bills do have an advantage too because they also have a potential top 5 defense over there with Tre'Davious White, Jordan
Absolutely.
Poyer, fucking Marcel Darius isn't even there anymore. Shit. Who do they have?
Ed Oliver's
great. Who are their linebackers?
They
have the
Edmonds.
Yeah, Edmonds. Like, they have a good defense over there. Their scheme is very good.
McDermott
he's historically a defensive coach. Like, when he was coaching the Panthers on their defensive when their Super Bowl year with Kuechly, that defense was locked down. Like, they had MVP Cam Newton, but 15-1. It's not just because of offense, right? You got to have some defensive games in there too. And then on top of that, Josh Allen's developing. I think he's gonna. He still has room to go. I think I saw a stat. He hasn't had a game above 300 yards throwing yet.
Yeah.
So like we do like to
It's a
see the
big
value
one.
in him, but he definitely has some development to go. But on offense, he now has Stephon Diggs. Sorry.
No, I'm just.
John Brown is a wide receiver too. Is great. I really like Singletary is very good. He's gonna pop off next year. And Dawson Knox. Do you guys know the name?
Yes,
Dawson
the
Knox?
tight end.
Tight end, dude. That guy can go. He can get those jump balls. He can get down the field. So I mean, if they could utilize all the weapons that they have there, I think the Bills have a good chance.
I agree.
It really is just dependent on how the Patriots offense can complement their defense, because that defense will hold a team to about around 24 to 30 points a game. So if Cam Newton can score more than that, then I think the Patriots will find some success. I will tell you, Jimmy G's going to go in the fucking park.
Sam, can we not go into a Jimmy G thing? Because this is about to die and we have to end it.
All right, I guess, do we want to touch on any?
Sam, we literally cannot touch on anything. It's
Yes,
about
we
to
can.
die.
One last thing.
Oh,
One last
my
thing.
goodness.
Give me one new NFL playoff
If it dies,
team
we're
on the
recording. We're
AFC
not
and
gonna have
NFC.
Ooh. Playoff team.
One new playoff team, AFC, NFC. I'll give you my AFC team. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Absolutely.
Getting back to the playoffs. if Cam's not winning comeback player of the year, it's going to be Big Ben. You guys watch. Gunslinger's coming back.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Mike Tomlin's a great coach. I mean,
Yeah,
they did well without him, and Mink Fitzpatrick is
Another top
my
five
God.
defense right there on the Steelers. Yeah, another
Oh my
top
God, Mink
with Joe
Fitzpatrick is
Hayden,
crazy.
Steven Nelson, Stephon Tuitt, T.J. Watt. That's a very talented
Yeah.
defense.
For the AFC, I will also say watch.
To end it.
I'm gonna sound like a clown, but watch out for the Jets. The Jets might be decent. I don't know, because people hate on Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's not as bad as everybody thinks.
That's true. Because Mono got him last year.
Yeah, Mono did.
We got to see how the defense is for them too.
Right. It depends on if Jamal Adams stays or not, because
And-
Jamal Adams is. Oh my God. he's
NFC, are we agreement that the Cardinals are going to be a threat next
Yeah.
year?
absolutely.
Cardinals are going to be great.
Yeah, I mean Cliff Kingsbury, Kyler, D Hop,
Not to mention their defense. They just got Isaiah Simmons along the board.
Isaiah. Dude, I
Patrick
screamed
Peterson's
when
coming
they
back.
drafted Isaiah Simmons.
At 7, he slid to 7. That was fucking.
My only fear is that they won't know how to correctly use him in the first couple of years.
Yeah.
Because he's a very new type of player.
And Chandler Jones, yeah. Oh, I think we're getting the bums rushing this guy.
No, like if this dies when we're recording, we're not going to have it. So
Alright.
we have to end it.
I guess we're done. Thank you for watching. Reminder: Jimmy G's 20-4 with Kyle Shanahan. Good night, everybody.
We'll just end it.
Choose the money for I choose the fame. I ain't choose the game, but the game chose me. All my life I've been chasing to a bag, cookie in the pack, and it stay on me. Got a loaf, I be chillin' on the coast, so me go and make a toast, have a drink on me for the cash.